Namaste. Hi, Mooji.
Hi.
Hi.
Oh, full room.
Yes.
Very good. You can see?
Yes, can you see us?
Yeah, it's very good.
Okay.
Very good.
Thank you for being here with us. 3 weeks ago we were 6 and now it's 30 people here.
Oh, look at that.
The army of
Right.
truth is growing.
Huh?
The army of truth is growing.
Just to try and see if I can get a better sound, okay? One moment.
Yes, okay. Să pun microfonul? We have a microphone. Maybe we can change to the microphone.
No. Now I'm hearing very good.
Okay.
Very good. Very good.
Okay.
I'm looking around, looking at all these people. Huh?
We are so happy to have you here.
I have captured one Romanian here.
Yes? Who is it?
Yes, please. I have captured one Romanian here. You can see him.
Oh, hi! Bună!
Salut!
And soon there's going to be Laura, is also from Romania, joining you. You will see her there too, yes.
Okay.
She's in London now, she's not here with us.
Achha.
Yes.
Which one is this one? Laura?
Yes, Laura. She was there at the retreat. She will also be there with you soon, yes. Mooji.
Everybody, are you all interested in this subject, all these people?
Yes. I think so. Yes, and it's all happening so fast that we got together, 6 of us, and then so many people interested in seeing you. And hopefully soon in person as well. Just as I had the privilege of meeting you in person in London. Mooji, can I start with a report?
Yes.
Okay. 2 years ago when I came to London, I bursted into laughter on that little chair because it was all clear that it's all imagined. And ever since, this hasn't left me. I see from that place, from that space.
Yes.
And but I did not celebrate too quickly. I went into silence and I kept on reading Ramana's books and just being in satsang and reviewing satsangs with you as well, and just listening in isolation in a way. And it's been a long time, and now I feel that relationships are coming back, which seems like a natural step. But with this, with my new expression in relationships, great power is arising as well. And this power comes with fear, because it's such a strong energy that sometimes I'm not even sure if it's just Shakti that this body cannot take, or it's also subconscious shadows or demonic shadows. So how to move into this? I don't know what to do with this power actually. I'm afraid of it, Mooji. This is the truth. That there is so much power coming in through this expression that I'm afraid of it. Something is afraid of it.
Yes, when you say power, I am wanting to know in what way this power that you speak about, what way it is manifesting, you see? And you were also explaining a little bit, no? That sometimes it takes the form of just pure Shakti.
Yes.
Another time it can be like some dark energy or something like this. Can you say a little bit more when you say like
yes, the thing is that I'm not sure if it is dark or if it's just pure Shakti. Because it is so subtle, my mind would interpret it maybe as negative or demonic or subconscious vasanas, dark forces. And that is why I'm here, because this subtlety is
if you can detect something that is in a very subtle manifestation, then it's only because what you are is even more subtle than that. You see? And you already say that perhaps it is your mind that is given the label of it being dark or light or something like that. That's a very powerful observation, because it means that if you see it is just a play of mind, whether it is positive or negative, that both are aspects of mind, then you don't need to give too much attention to that. The pure being is not affected by that.
no.
The pure being is only somehow self-aware, but it's not self-aware as a kind of duty. It's just naturally self-aware and self-luminous like that.
All I can say about it without interpreting is that it's very powerful, and this power is manifesting through Dharma in this sense, even through this satsang that somehow was organized. It's very powerful, Mooji. It's very powerful, and
but I don't feel anything to be concerned about. I think this is a natural thing for many people. As your own understanding deepens, and your own clarity or certainty that you cannot be anything different from the pure consciousness, and that is a very innocent recognition.
yes.
Then actually very often powerful forces are released, take different shapes, manifest in different ways. And what I can only say about it is, let them play, let them dance. This is all the powers of the universe. Let it play, let it dance. There's nothing really that you have to make into work. You're merely the one who perceives all of this, and it's going on by itself somehow.
Yes.
Sometimes you have the sense that there's a role that is meant to be an expression of deliberate action or something, but that is also within the fuller expression of consciousness. Everything is natural for you.
Yes.
You see, you don't have to turn anything, no special names for anything. No special names, no special categories for anything. Because the self does not fit into any category. You see, all of these are the expressions of the mind, which is fine. Mind also is itself an expression of the self. You see, and this understanding somehow arises within you without trouble. If the attention goes towards what I would call personal consciousness, then it can be felt that there is some kind of turbulence might come. But even this is nothing. It's quickly seen that it's just the play of the waves and nothing more than that. It's all the play of water. So you're okay. Somewhere inside, you're just okay with that. And it's a pleasure, to talk like this is easy for me. It's okay, this is not a joke.
Then I will let other people ask questions. Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you
very
for
good.
being. Thank
Very
you.
good, very nice. Very good.
Okay.
Thank you.
Who would be the next to ask a question? Jump.
Everybody speak English?
Yeah, almost everybody, yes, but we do have a translator here just in case someone would like to. So who would be the next? We need the next person to ask a question. Come.
Very good.
I'm very glad to meet you. My English is not very good, you know, but I know that you understand me. You understand everything and everybody. My report is not so shine and...
1 second, can we turn the volume down a little? It's a bit just on the edge. Huh? I'm just turning the volume now, it's a little bit down.
Very good, because I need to shout it loud.
No, this is good. Before also it was a bit high. Okay, let's go, keep going.
Since I left you, actually I never left you. You are in my heart and you will always be. And you are like a, cum să spun, like a reference for me, and I have your picture in my bedroom, and Buddha's picture, and when I'm sleeping away, not when I'm sleeping, when I sleep away, I look at your picture, and once Christian asked me, could you tell this to Mooji? And I kept this question in my mind, and when I'm not sure if I'm right or wrong, I put this question, and most of the time the answer is no. I could not report this to Mooji, or I could not ask this question to Mooji.
Yeah, why is that?
Because I take a step away, and I'm detaching from the drama queen.
Okay.
And I can see that I'm wrong. That I was sticking to the character.
You're speaking as a character.
Very often.
Yes.
I'm
you know,
acting
this is really,
and sorry.
This is really, for me, this is really at the root of all this play of deception and the struggles that people have. It comes down to just to this point that you just made just now. And if you can step back as you speak and realize who you are speaking as when you speak, not just when you speak, as you live, the actions that are made, the words that are spoken, the thoughts that come. Who speaks them, you see? This is a simple question I've found. There are thousands of questions that are called spiritual questions. But I've found that this is one of the most powerful questions that I want to ask. Not always just ask mechanically, not mechanically, but there comes a stage in each seeker's journey, if you come to this question, who am I? Or when I say I speak or act, think, what is my identity when I say this thing? If you're not ready for this question, I don't want to force it. I say, then forget about it. We can talk about whatever you want to talk about. But in a few cases, I can speak directly and ask you, when you say this thing, when you say you're having difficulty or you don't understand why life is so difficult, I want to know who you are saying you are. Who are you being in that moment when you speak like that? And in some cases, people can really check in, and sometimes they burst into laughter. Sometimes they burst into laughter. It's like you catch yourself. And then you cannot keep the game up. You have to let something laugh. The universe laugh. You see? So if you're able to do this, and I say to each person, at a certain point, if you are somehow engaged in deep spiritual quest for truth, then you must come to this question. One day you'll come to this question, when this question becomes the most important thing, and the answer to this question, or the response to this question, is going to happen very soon for you. So when you speak like this, I was very happy. Because it doesn't matter which country, whether you're a man or a woman, what's your religion, this question transcends all the categories. It goes straight into your heart, into the core of who you take yourself to be. So, anyway, we'll come back to that. I think you get my point, what I'm speaking.
Mooji,
Not everybody necessarily.
Actually, I have no excuse, because that's how my journey with you started, watching inside me who I am. And I saw, and still sometimes I forget. I
Yes.
feel that many things in my life changed. There are very few sensible points, some very few triggers left. But there are moments when I totally forget. But
It is okay. It is okay. You know what? Can I say something?
Yes.
I don't know if you can all follow this, but even this forgetting, there's moments when I forget even. And even there I'll ask you, who are you who forget or remember? This is not ultimately true. It's only true within the play of duality. It is true. I don't know if everybody can follow what I'm speaking, but this is for you. It's only within the play of duality that this is true, that statement, that sometimes I just forget. And there's a distraction, and that also has a power, that when you forget, within the play of duality, when you forget, then your mind goes back into being the person, and then you're living in the shape and the characteristic of a person, and then you start to worry about something you desire, you feel frustration, you feel anger, you feel jealousy, all of these things come because they are part of that domain. They are the characteristics of that domain. Then, okay, yes, I say, okay, don't cry. Gradually you are coming out of this. So each time that you forget, then forget about it. Okay? And when you nothing to celebrate, just it's nothing at all. Because at some point, what you are as consciousness is so completely natural that even the sense of forgetting and remembering becomes that it's not even that. I cannot forget what I am, not really. In the ultimate sense, I cannot forget. I can only be what I am. But in the play of duality, there is remembering and forgetting. And who is it who remembers and forgets? You should find out. That is a clue. Who is it that remembers? See if you can catch hold of the identity that remembers or forgets. If it can be identified, you find out. And just in trying to catch hold of it, something is going to become very clear for you.
Thank you. It was very difficult for me to tell you this, because I felt very ashamed, and it was difficult for me to share this.
Yes.
But
And
thank
even
you.
shame or pride or so on, these things are not things that you should be concerned about. About shame or pride, or you did something very well, or you really screwed up or something. These things are not important. Not important. Every human being must screw up. Because otherwise you're not human. Every human being must somehow make a mess, do something, like this. No? It's the human face of consciousness. It has to play like that. But within that role, something is deeper that is untouched by the play of the of the character of consciousness, or the portrait, the self-portrait of consciousness as being a person. It is like that. No big deal. No big deal, you see. Life does not want to punish you. Only our mind, you see, the mind that creates the sense, oh, you did something wrong, you see, you did it, you're not very good. This is where the punishment really is. And it's something that we somehow invest a kind of belief in it, and we bring it into reality. You believe it into existence. But the nature by itself is not doing that. Of course, some actions we cannot avoid. Whether you are a Christ or a Buddha or a Shiva, you cannot escape a certain amount of early conditioning and to be caught. And even when the self is realized, the surface conditioning may still stay, but it is more superficial. It doesn't have such power. It doesn't have the authority anymore, you see? Because wisdom erases the authority, the apparent authority of the ego. So you're not troubled by this thing, but there will still be now and again, there's going to be some little trouble, but not a big deal, little things. Because you have this, you see, and this is both for pleasure and pain.
Thank you.
Right. Good. Oh yeah, she's good, no? She really encourages them. Come. It is very good, because normally, I tell you, I am not doing this. I don't want to encourage too much. So come on, come. But with people who are close to me, if they're close, then sometimes I want to beat them, If I don't know them too well, I said, look, if you don't want to come, it's okay, you go. Better you. See? I like your way. I like to tell them, come on, Say, come on and put this question, and I am on your side. I totally agree. Because what happens here, when you come forward, you share something, this thing could change your life forever. Because in each human being is the Buddha spirit. The Buddha being is there. The Christ consciousness is there. The Shiva being is there. It is there. It doesn't matter how stupid you are on the surface. Yeah? Underneath, the Buddha being is there. And if there's any journey, it is to undress yourself of all the stupid things that we are wearing, all the costumes of the personality, ego, desire, and fear, and attachment. These are the heavily soaked garments that we're wearing. So you're taking them off. You're taking onion, they say, no, you're taking off one take off the onion, you come to the middle, nothing is there. A beautiful nothing. But as we are peeling off, sometimes it's feeling, oh my God, no, I'm going to disappear. So you're very good to do this. And I think this is something that's a strength you have to tell people, come on, get up. And, get up and come into this fire.
Yes.
Thank you for sharing, giving us your time. It's really beautiful. I don't really have a question, just an observation and maybe your comments on it. When I stay in silence and I just feel this awareness, there is no personality, there's no emotions, there's no thoughts, there's just something very silent. And when I open my eyes again, I feel this presence very strongly throughout my life in everything I do. And my observation and your thoughts on it would be helpful, is I see the illusion of the personality, no question about that. But when I close my eyes and I really try to feel with an open heart, what is this experience? I guess you can only explain it as, I guess my mind is trying to somehow formulate it. It would sound sort of like when the formless is sort of touching gently on the form. And through this expression, there is a slight, some type of a flavor of this body, of this being, of this experience. But it's not a personality. It doesn't feel like a heavy personality or ego. It just feels like a unique expression. And in reading certain books or hearing certain people, I wonder if even that is an illusion. If actually even that sense of something very light that touches with consciousness is something that I should also discard completely, even though it feels very...
One who would discard is real?
No. It's the mind trying to find some type of...
Because sometimes the mind takes over to claim a kind of spirituality that is so austere, that is so pure, but pure, this, you see, that it becomes totally monochromatic. It doesn't have the fullness of the flavor of existence. Duality is not a mistake. Duality is itself the gift that consciousness gives to itself in order to have the taste of experiencing. You see, it's not a fault or something. Just there must be clear understanding. It's not one necessarily rejects it even, but you simply stay put as that which is the undivided one. And all things manifest in their correct context, if you can say like that. And you're not afraid, because I've seen people who have tried to drive the consciousness into a kind of state that is imagined in the mind that is so absolutely absolute that, in fact, they're terrified of duality actually. Sometimes they're terrified to feel something because, that's duality.
Yes.
But even to say that something is non-duality is based on duality.
Yes.
Even the concept of non-duality is based on the concept of non-duality. You see, so I say relax and enjoy life. Enjoy without pursuing. Life itself is joy. All of this can be a play of the joy also. Even what is perceived to be the negative side of duality is experienced in a refreshingly new way. It is not an enemy. It's almost in service to pure understanding that has to, as I say sometimes, it appears that consciousness devises or creates the sense of a problem in order to have the experience of transcending it. Let us not try to figure out consciousness, but simply come to the recognition that you yourself can be nothing other than pure consciousness, and just be one with that, and let the mind of consciousness reveal its beauty, not a person, you see. Then the mind is functioning in its correct role, because it is consciousness also. But as long as there remains some kind of ego in us, and sometimes the most troublesome one is the ego that appears to be too perfect. then perfection becomes concept of perfection. There's an innocence here that no one can practice. It can only be discovered, you see. And so just don't be the one, don't be a traffic policeman or a judge in your own head. This is good, this is not good, this is... For a while we'll do this. But as your being is more recognized to be more innocent and empty, this role of discerning between good and bad is gradually being left. And a higher functioning consciousness replaces it, which does not have to come through the fist of goodness and badness. It comes in another way. But if it sees it appropriate to act as an instrument for discerning good and bad, it will do this. But it will not turn it into a discipline. You see? It's just everything is... When it's time for lavender flowers, it will make lavender. When it's time for daffodils, daffodils. When it's time for, a machete, it will be whatever. You see? It takes this dryness. You have no descriptions of you. Have no descriptions of it. Let the mind describe. Let the mind describe until it cannot describe anymore. Because it can only describe on your behalf. If you have no interest in the mind, then it comes into silence. If you as consciousness have no interest in the games of the mind, it just completely, it has nothing to do but to slide back into silence. Then it is beautiful.
It doesn't feel like a conflict. It was more of a curiosity, as if like, what is that? That's interesting. More than, it's something that is of a resistance or a...
Okay, let's go to that point. Let's go back to that point then. Because I say, what I've said maybe is for a greater sharing. It triggers something to speak more broadly about this point. Let's go back to specifically what you're talking now. And that was that somehow you were saying, bring me to this point again.
That even though I'm not this personality,
Yes.
and I clearly see it, that there's still, here I am, and there is a flavor in this expression, and what is that? It's a curious thing, and I can go through this pure consciousness, but yet here is this flavor that is expressed in me, and I wouldn't even call it ego, because I think it's something,
Yes.
and I think a lot of spiritual circles discard it as if they separate it. Ego.
Let me tell you, I have some good news for you. Forget about it. It is one. It is one. It's just, you say beautifully. There is no. It's not really. I cannot say it is ego even. It is just somehow a fragrance of consciousness in its manifestation in form. It's not. It has its own unique flavor, its own unique perfume, and it happens like this. And it can be whatever. Sometimes you go, it can be whatever. It's simply just there is a spontaneity to it. It's almost automatic. It's just happening in spite of any effort to do or not to do. It is play. As long as the body is here, mind and consciousness is there, this play will show itself, and it's fine. It's also enjoyable. Also, let it be there.
That's what was my sense. It seems very natural, so just trust it. Yes, just go with it. Yes.
You don't have to go with anything. It's going by itself. It is going on by itself. You see, it's like it's not. Oh yes, now I need to to go along with this play. No, you're not going anywhere. You are just as you've always been. That consciousness within which this dance of creation and manifestation expresses through in this form. And you don't know how you're going to behave today. You don't know how you're going to feel it within the next 5 minutes. You don't know, and you don't need to know. Let everything be written freshly, so that you don't try and hold life into a shape that in reality you cannot do. But on reality, in the mind, you can create this type of shape, and then you occupy this shape, and I tell you, it is not nice. It's a very tight thing. And many people spend a lot of years sometimes breaking out of a kind of a rigid pattern, which although they know on some level it's illusory, but in their actual experiencing, they cannot shake off it. So you're seeing beautifully, and it's a beautiful moment to catch this and to say, it is okay. Don't exert energy to try and get rid of something that you need not do. Stay only as that which you cannot not be. Just be with that. And let this flow happen. Because from moment to moment, the scenes are changing, and it's fine. You're not the accountant for all this play. Somehow it's there. But what happens is that in all situations, in all terrains, you are a constant. Something is constant. The scenes can keep changing, the scenes changing, but something is not changing. And within this unchangingness, but even within the changeful is also an aspect of the consciousness. But it's not at war with the changeful. The changeful is a temporary phase of the unchanging. So something is fine. And it's amazing that without trying to forcefully understand this understanding happens also inside the consciousness. In a kind of inner, spontaneous, intuitive maturity. It comes into like this. You just come into that knowing, and very nice, very good. Yeah. And I get a very nice feeling from this group of people. They're not rushing to come forward, which is fine. Maybe a little bit shy or something, I don't know. But feeling is good. I have to tell you.
Puteți să veniți și să mulțumiți pentru ceva. Vrei să veniți?